Okay, Ji, coming back to the discussion, there are different ways through which communication can be done between the board of directors and the shareholders of the company. One is through the statutory reports. Any idea what do you mean by statutory?
यस सर। सर स्टैचुरी रिपोर्ट वो रिपोर्ट होती है जो इनकॉर्पोरेशन के बाद विद इन 1 ईयर पब्लिक लिमिटेड कंपनी ने प्रेजेंट करनी होती है। ठीक है।
ठीक है, वेरी राइट। और इसके बाद जो
Uh,
फ्रीक्वेंटली जो है ना इंफॉर्मेशन शेयर करनी है उसके लिए क्या करेंगे? हेलो,
so statutory report is basically a mandatory submission of information of financial and non-financial information to the government agencies.
very right. Can you give any example of any statutory report?
सर इसमें ये बताया जाता है कि कितने शेयर्स इशू हो चुके हैं, कंपनी के कितने इनिशियल एक्सपेंसेस आ चुके हैं, कंपनी के बेसिक जो इंफॉर्मेशन होती है उसके फाइनेंशियल्स जो होते हैं वो इसमें डिस्कस किए जाते हैं सर।
जी वो ठीक है, वो तो इनिशियल जब इनकॉर्पोरेशन के बाद की बात है, वो तो ठीक है आपका हो गया ना, लेकिन रेगुलर रूटीन प्रैक्टिस में भी देयर आर सर्टेन रिपोर्ट्स।
प्रोस्पेक्टस सर जो इशू होता है प्रोस्पेक्टस एनुअल बेसिस पे?
नहीं नहीं, प्रोस्पेक्टस नहीं है, प्रोस्पेक्टस एनुअल बेसिस के ऊपर नहीं होता, एनुअल बेसिस के ऊपर तो एनुअल रिपोर्ट जो है ना वो इशू होती है। Within that annual report, there are certain statutory reports that are basically being issued to us. One of them is the auditor's report to the directors, or auditor report to the shareholders of the company. That is a statutory report that is being presented by the auditors, okay, when they complete the audit of the firm. Sometimes that report is a qualified report, sometimes they issue an unqualified report, sometimes they issue a disclaimer that the audit cannot be completed based on the information that has been provided by the company, and sometimes they issue adverse report. Any idea between the difference between qualified and unqualified report?
यस सर।
Sir,
क्वालिफाइड रिपोर्ट में सर ये होता है कि कुछ ना कंप्लीट इंफॉर्मेशन नहीं होती, कुछ मिसिंग होता है या ऑडिटर को कोई ना कोई डाउट होता है, कुछ चीज़ क्लियर नहीं होती ना, वो क्वालिफाइड होगी। अनक्वालिफाइड में सब कुछ क्या होता है, क्लियर होता है, ठीक है, कंप्लीट इंफॉर्मेशन होती है इसमें सर।
Based on the
सर किसी चीज के रिगार्डिंग अगर ऑडिटर कोई ऑब्जर्वेशन दें तो वो कोई क्वालिफिकेशन कहलाती है।
जी
तो उस रिपोर्ट को उसके अगेंस्ट जो होती है वो डिसक्वालिफाइड होती है। वो बेसिकली एडिटर्स उसके वाले से ये हो रहा होता है कि सारी चीज अकॉर्डिंग टू रूल्स हैं, सारा कुछ अवेलेबल है, सब कुछ ओके है।
ठीक है जो है ना उसमें
सर इसमें ये होता है कि
जी जी बिलाल।
सर कंपनी बुक ऑफ अकाउंट में कोई सर बेसिकली एरर नहीं होता, वो नॉट क्वालिफाइड होती है, और जिसमें सर कोई एरर वगैरह निकले तो सर वो क्वालिफाइड उसे कहते हैं।
ठीक है जो है ना
मिस्टेक
वो एक स्टेटमेंट देते हैं कि बेस्ड ऑन द इंफॉर्मेशन प्रोवाइडेड बाय द कंपनी, ठीक है, by the taken from the books of accounts and the information that is extracted from the profit and loss, balance sheet, cash flow statement, statement of changes in owner's equity and other notes that are being annexed. It is stated that there are certain policy matters which are not properly being followed by the company जो है ना उसमें, तो उसके ऊपर कोई ना कोई ऑब्जर्वेशन या क्वालिफिकेशन जो है ना लगा लेते हैं जो किसी पॉलिसी मैटर से रिलेटेड है या कंपनी की जो है ना जो प्रैक्टिसेस हैं उसकी जो है ना वो नॉन कंप्लायंस है जो है ना जो कि रिक्वायर्ड जो प्रैक्टिसेस है उसके अकॉर्डिंगली, तो दैट रिपोर्ट इज कॉल्ड एज अ क्वालिफाइड रिपोर्ट। देयर इज सम क्वालिफिकेशन या ऑब्जर्वेशन ऑन दैट रिपोर्ट। If the report is free of errors, free of mistakes, free of जो है ना वो issues, तो that report is basically called as जो है ना वो unqualified जो है ना वो report, a non-qualified report जो है ना। Third होती है adverse report. If the auditor finds material issues or the auditor finds frauds or material negligence जो है ना, material means significant जो है ना वो negligence, in that case a report is issued that is known as adverse report. And the fourth one is basically disclaimer. In disclaimer, they specify that the information that is being provided by the company is not sufficient to make any judgment about the true and fair representation of the books of accounts. तो उसकी basis के ऊपर कोई भी जो जजमेंट है ऑडिटर जो है वो नहीं कर पाता कि जी की बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स फेयर हैं या नहीं है, बिकॉज इनकम्प्लीट या इनसफिशिएंट इज प्रोवाइडेड बाय द क्लाइंट। ठीक है जी, तो दीज आर द 4 टाइप्स ऑफ द रिपोर्ट्स दैट आर बीइंग इशूड। Qualified would be the one in which there would be certain kind of observations or mistakes or errors that are being found by the auditor. Unqualified report would be the one that would be free of mistakes or the errors or material misstatements. The adverse report would be the one in which the auditor finds, you can say, significant errors or the frauds or the deviation from the policies or the standards. And disclaimer is a situation where the auditor specifies that no judgment can be made because of the availability of the insufficient information or because of the provision of the lack of information. ठीक है जी। इसी तरह से ऑडिटर रिपोर्ट, इस एनुअल रिपोर्ट के अंदर एक रिपोर्ट इशू की जाती है दैट इज नोन एज स्टेटमेंट ऑफ कंप्लायंस विद कोड ऑफ कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस। ठीक है, स्टेटमेंट ऑफ कंप्लायंस विद कोड ऑफ कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस इज अनदर स्टैट्यूटरी रिपोर्ट in which the company's directors specify that all the you can say the things that are being made in the company's decisions regarding the corporate governance are according to the code of corporate governance, ठीक है, 2002, that is prevailing in Pakistan. So compliance of code of corporate governance is also reported in a report which is known as statement of compliance with code of corporate governance. It is another example of the statutory reports. Then the chairman's report, basically chairman's report or director report to the shareholder basically specifies the different highlights of the company which are being presented to the shareholders. Although the company's annual report includes the profit and loss statement or the income statement which specifies the financial performance of the company, it includes the balance sheet which specifies the financial position of the business organization. It includes the cash flow statement which specifies the inflow and outflow situation of the cash. It includes the statement of changes in owner's equity, which tells us about the changes that have occurred in the owner's equity or the shareholder's equity. But along with that, the financial highlights of the business organization, the major events or incidences that have taken place during the particular year are also reported to the shareholders in the form of director report or the chairman's report. So for instance, in the previous year, the company was unable to perform well. What were the major reasons because of which the company was unable to perform well? Maybe the directors may report that because of the COVID situation, it was unable to perform as better as compared to the previous years. The oil and gas prices fell to almost $0 per barrel. That affected the business performance. Most of the people were restricted to their homes. There were no traveling, there were no tourism. So the utilization of the petrol or oil was decreased. So these are certain incidences or effects and figures that can be communicated. Or the different governmental policies can also be associated that, for example, in the construction sector, in the cement industry, there was a boom because most of the people started construction because of the relief that was given by the government to the construction sector. So these kind of the major incidences which affected the financial performance either positively or negatively are being communicated to the shareholders of the company. Then the compliance report, as I mentioned, the statement of compliance of with code of corporate governance, it is mentioned that all the rules and regulations that are being followed by the company are according to the code of corporate governance. Then certain newsletters or circulars are also circulated. Those newsletters basically have the information about the board of directors, about the company's operation, about the different financial perspective that which basically occurred in that particular year, and the different circulars that are circulated among the different stakeholders. And then meetings with the major shareholders, as we discussed earlier. Then when meetings are being done, the majority shareholders basically attend those meetings. So information can also be communicated in those meetings in writing or through verbal discussion that is related with the business organization. And then correspondence can be made through email or other options that are available to the business organization, either in the formal or the informal way. So these are some of the instruments through which information can be passed on from the directors to the shareholders, and accordingly they can be kept well informed. Then moving forward, there is a concept of shareholders activism. Any idea about this thing? What is shareholder activism? Any one of you having idea about shareholders activism?
No idea, sir.
Any guesswork? Haris bin Nasir, can you tell me?
Yes, sir.
What is shareholders activism?
Uh, no idea, sir.
No idea. Acha, chalein, let me help you out.
Sir,
अब
like
बता दो.
voting rights of the shares,
Hmm,
what is the active part of the shareholders in the business organization decisions?
Sorry, can you repeat again?
Sir, what are the shareholders' activities or decision making, or what active part they are taking in the business activities?
Okay,
Something like that.
yes, it is something that is related to shareholder equity activism. It refers to the stand taken by the shareholders against the recommendations of the board. One perspective is that whatsoever that is being presented by the board of directors is approved by the shareholders, because board of directors have the expertise, they have the experience, they have the qualifications. So since they are the expert, they are giving the expert opinion. So whatsoever they have presented is fine. So what the shareholders should do, they should simply accept those reports. ठीक है जी, इसको kindly just go through this slide, we will discuss it. Hanji, the question is that they should take the stand against the recommendation of the board, but do they have the adequate right or the powers? What do you think?
Yes, sir, they have the right. If
बिल्कुल होगा सर.
So they can overrule the decisions of the board?
yes, sir,
No, sir.
by after going through a campaign, or they can make the decision change.
Yes, they can do, but it is only possible when they are
They are
having.
given the power. Yes, sir. The provided they are given the this consent that they can overrule the directions and decisions of the board. Only then they can challenge the board. Otherwise, I think board has the legitimate right to give and issue the instructions and orders.
Very right, Joanna Smith. Most of the time, the board has the right, but in case of the majority decision, they can overturn the ruling of the board also, because the board basically presents them the decisions for the approval. The approving authority is the shareholders, and generally the majority shareholders are the one who basically gives their verdict against or for the decision they are going to take. And normally what happens is, basically in case of the majority shareholding, that the discussion we had earlier in the previous lectures also we have discussed it, that in case of the Western countries, what happens is that most of the people who are the majority shareholders do not actively participate in the management of the company. They are generally not the controlling shareholders. So the situation could be different. But a scenario like Pakistan, where the board members basically are elected by the majority shareholders, and those majority shareholders in most of the cases are basically the families which are running those companies or owning those companies. So whatsoever the decisions that are being presented by the board are actually in favor of the majority shareholders. So since these decisions are already in favor of the majority shareholders, so most of the times these decisions are basically approved by the shareholders. But they have the right that they can disapprove any decision. And if they do not disapprove any decision, what they can do is that at least they can show their dissent. They can basically put their dissent note in the meeting, that although this decision is being taken up by who do not agree taken up with this proposal or with this decision, because at the end of the day, whether that decision gets approved or not, the important thing is they should give their dissent. It is just like that, if everyone starts feeling कि हमारे कहने ना कहने से तो कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा, just like what minority shareholders think, that if they even vote against that particular decision, तो कौन सा वो decision revert हो जाएगा. Although decision तो revert नहीं होगा, but as a shareholder you should, ठीक है, put your opinion across the table. At least आपका काम ये है कि जो भी decision है उसको क्या कर दें, आगे forward कर दें उसमें. ठीक है जी. Because shareholder activism is basically a perspective that you should stand against the decisions of the board. So it is not necessarily that it would be majority shareholders, it could be minority shareholders. But the problem is that minority shareholders cannot overrule the decision. But yes, they can stand up against the decision, that they can vote against the decision, they can at least show their or put their dissent note in the meeting that we do not agree with the decision that is being taken up by the board. ठीक है जी. It can work only if the institutional investors participate, because institutional investors have the representative directors, they have the expertise, they have the experience, so they have a better bargaining or influencing power as compared to the individual shareholders. So if individual shareholders won't agree, it won't make any difference in the board meeting. But if the institutional investors disagree with the decision of the board and they put their dissent note, then it could be a different situation. The board would rethink their decision, because they are, this is a pressure group, they are the influencing group in the board. So they can basically challenge the decision that is being presented in the board meetings. And do the institutional investor have a duty to communicate with the other shareholders? Yes, they do have a duty, but most of the time it is not fully fulfilled by them, because they are least concerned about the minority shareholders. So if the institutional investors fulfill this duty, then the board's decisions could be challenge, or it can be a different voice can be raised against them. In case of UK, we have already discussed it, that most of the shares are basically owned by the institutional investor. So in that scenario, institutional investors basically play a very vital role in the board decision. But in case of Pakistan, in some of the companies, institutional investors are actively involved. In most of the other companies, they are not. So the minority shareholders are at the mercy of the majority shareholders. Then shareholder activism, if the institutional investors join hands with the smaller shareholders, what they can do is the institutional investors can monitor the board performance. Already we have discussed it. Based on the expertise that they are having, they can monitor the performance of the board. And since they have the representation in the board, so how the board is performing, the institutional investor can basically have a look at that. Make direct intervention. तो अब जाहिर सी बात है, सिंस दे आर अ पार्ट ऑफ द बोर्ड, तो जो बोर्ड मीटिंग्स हैं उसके अंदर जो है जो भी डिसीजन प्रेजेंट होंगे, तो बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स के अंदर दे आर द मेंबर्स ऑफ द बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स, दे आर द पार्ट ऑफ द एग्जीक्यूटिव और नॉन एग्जीक्यूटिव डायरेक्टर्स, तो दे कैन ऑफर देयर ओपिनियन, दे कैन रेज देयर वॉइस इन दोज बोर्ड मीटिंग्स जो है उसमें, and then they can regularly evaluate and share financial analysis. They can evaluate the performance of the companies, and then they can share the performance to the other shareholders. तो जैसे बहुत सारे इन्वेस्टर्स होते हैं ना, एनालिस्ट रिपोर्ट्स को जो है ना वो चेक कर रहे होते हैं, उनकी बेसिस पे डिसीजन कर रहे होते हैं, तो इसी तरीके से जो इंस्टीट्यूशनल इन्वेस्टर्स हैं, ये इंस्टीट्यूशनल इन्वेस्टर्स जो उनको डिफरेंट इंफॉर्मेशन प्रोवाइड करेंगे, दैट इज आल्सो यूजफुल, बिकॉज दैट इज द इंफॉर्मेशन दैट वुड बी रियल टाइम, जो बोर्ड मीटिंग्स के अंदर जो डिस्कस हो रहा है उससे रिलेटेड इंफॉर्मेशन की बेसिस के ऊपर वो दूसरे लोगों को कम्युनिकेट कर रहे होंगे. बट रिमेंबर दैट इंस्टीट्यूशनल इन्वेस्टर ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस आर ऑल रन बाय द मैनेजर्स, सो दे हैव एफिनिटी फॉर द मैनेजर जो है ना उसमें, ठीक है, वो आपस में भाई भाई बन जाते हैं. रीजन बीइंग कि इंस्टीट्यूशनल इन्वेस्टर्स को भी जनरली मैनेज कौन कर रहे होते हैं, मैनेजर्स कर रहे होते हैं, और यहाँ पे भी जो बैठे हुए हैं वो भी मेजॉरिटी जो है मैनेजर्स हैं, जो एग्जीक्यूटिव डायरेक्टर्स हैं. तो अब उस सिचुएशन के अंदर वो एक दूसरे का जो है ना वो भाई बंदी में जो है ना वो लिहाज कर लेते हैं, एक दूसरे के अगेंस्ट जो है ना वॉइस रेस नहीं करते. एंड द एरियाज ऑफ डाइसेंट, कौन सी ऐसी चीजें हो सकती हैं जिसमें जो है डिसीजन जो है वो डिफरेंट लिया जा सकता है या अपनी वॉइस जो है ना वो रेज की जा सकती है. नंबर 1 इज री इलेक्शन ऑफ द डायरेक्टर्स. इसका क्या मतलब है जी?
So no one can say that no one can make them do re-elections for the directors. I think once the board of directors are announced, so they are announced for a certain period of time. No one can challenge it.
ठीक है, नहीं इस तरह से है कि फॉर एग्जांपल डायरेक्टर्स के जो है ना वो इलेक्शंस होते रहते हैं जो है ना, ठीक है, जिसकी बेसिस के ऊपर जो है ना वो इलेक्ट होते हैं जो है ना उसमें, ठीक है. एक होता है कॉमन टेन्योर्ड बोर्ड. कॉमन टेन्योर्ड बोर्ड का मतलब ये है कि फॉर एग्जांपल इफ द बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स आर इलेक्टेड फॉर 3 years, तो सारे के सारे डायरेक्टर्स एक ही टाइम के ऊपर जो है वो इलेक्ट होंगे और एक ही टाइम के ऊपर क्या होंगे, वो रिटायर हो जाएंगे जो है ना उसमें, ठीक है. फॉर एग्जांपल 1 जनवरी 2020 को जो है वो डायरेक्टर्स के इलेक्शन के अगेंस्ट जो है ना अपॉइंटमेंट हुई, तो अब 2020, 2021 और 2022, 31 दिसंबर 2022 तक ऑल दीज बोर्ड मेंबर्स वुड बेसिकली रिमेन ऑन द बोर्ड, और 31 दिसंबर पे इनका टाइम पीरियड जो है ना वो कंप्लीट हो जाएगा. उसके बाद री इलेक्शन के थ्रू जो है दोबारा जो है वो क्या किया जाएगा, मेंबर्स को ऑन बोर्ड किया जाएगा. दिस इज अ कॉमन टेन्योर्ड बोर्ड, कि जितने भी बोर्ड मेंबर्स हैं ऑल ऑफ देम वुड बी appointed on the same date and they would retire on the same date. The other one is staggered board. Staggered board is basically a type of the board in which certain percentage of directors basically gets retired and the others keep on you can say working. So for instance, it is a situation like this that 50%, let's suppose 1/3 of the board members would be retiring in this year. तो इस साल के एंड पे जो इलेक्शन होगा, लेट्स सपोज 9 मेंबर्स से, तो 9 में से 3 की जो है ना वो री इलेक्शन होगा. तो अब वो जो 3 लोग हैं रिटायर हो रहे हैं, उसकी जगह 3 लोग ऑन बोर्ड हो रहे हैं. नेक्स्ट ईयर अदर 3 वुड रिटायर. इन द नेक्स्ट ईयर फॉलोइंग द नेक्स्ट ईयर जो है तो उसमें फिर 3 लोग जो है ना रिटायर होंगे. तो इट मींस every year some of the members would retire and the some of the other members would join the board. अब इन दोनों के कुछ फायदे भी हैं और कुछ जो है ना वो नुकसानात भी हैं. तो अब री इलेक्शन ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स क्या है, इसके अंदर जो है बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स अपना डाइसेंट दे सकते हैं कि किन डायरेक्टर्स को जो है ना हमने बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स के तौर पे इलेक्ट करना है या नहीं करना. फॉर एग्जांपल जब इलेक्शन होगा तो ऑब्वियसली बात है सारे के सारे लोग तो नहीं इलेक्ट हो सकते, तो कुछ लोग इलेक्ट होंगे और कुछ नहीं होंगे. तो जिन लोगों को नहीं इलेक्ट होना चाहिए उसके अगेंस्ट बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स कैन बेसिकली शो देयर डाइसेंट्स. Then reappointment of the auditors. अब जो आपके auditors हैं normally these are appointed for 3 years and after 3 years they are reappointed जो है ना उसमें. ऐसे नहीं होता कि automatically वो फिर दोबारा से जो है ना हो जाएंगे, तो again उनकी reappointment होनी है and this reappointment is again approved by the shareholders of the company. तो if the shareholders are not you can say satisfied with the performance of the existing auditors, what they can do is they can vote against the reappointment of the auditors of the company, just like they can do it for the re-election of the directors of the company. Then approval of the director's remuneration, it's a very, you can say a burning issue that whether the director should be paid more or they should be paid less. So whatsoever remuneration that is to be paid to the, you can say directors of the company, that will be approved by the shareholders. So if they are not agreed with the remuneration that is being proposed, they can vote against it, they can show their dissent जो है ना उसमें. Approval of the annual accounts, again based on the information that is provided by the auditors. If the auditors have issued an adverse report or they have issued a disclaimer, in that situation they may refuse to approve the annual reports of the particular company. Then dividend recommendations. The dividend policy is although made by the management of the company, but again it is approved by the shareholders. So if the shareholder thinks that there is no need to retain the profits of the company, although the company has ample funds available for reinvestment, or there are no fruitful investment projects the company is having, and there is no need for retaining the dividend or retaining the profit, rather it should be distributed among the shareholders. So in this situation, that they can vote against the decision of the board. And then changes in the share capital. What does this means? Changes.
According to the situation,
repurchase of shares
according
or
to the
issuance of new shares.
Whether the company would issue more shares, whether the company would repurchase the shares, whether the company should use any reserve for meeting any expenditure or issuing the bonus shares, all these decisions would be placed in the board of directors meeting, the annual general meeting, and it requires the approval of the shareholders. So if the shareholders are not satisfied with anything, they can refuse or to accept that particular thing. And any other approval that is being presented to the shareholders have the right to give the vote of dissent, the dissent vote जो है ना उसमें. ठीक है जी. So dissent vote basically means that they can raise their voice against the recommendation of the board, despite of the fact that these are some of the individuals who are raising the voice, and by raising their voice they cannot change the decision, but at least they can raise their voice, they can communicate it to the others that whatsoever the decision that is being taken by the board, they are not agreed with that particular decision. ठीक है जी. That's it for this chapter, the chapter number 3, that is regarding the shareholders. From this chapter, if you have any query, if you have any question, please feel free to ask.
सर ये किसी बुक से आप सर कौन सी बुक है ये जिससे आप सर ये
ठीक है. This book is basically
सर डायरेक्टर क्वालिफिकेशन कौन डिसाइड